This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by Spencer Brown, manager to Tyson Fury. Spencer, firstly, how are you?
Hey, mate, nice to see you. Yeah, out here again.
We are indeed.
It's
Another big event. Let's just obviously touch on last night firstly. We saw a photo going around of Turki Alalshikh, your man Tyson Fury, AJ, Cristiano Ronaldo and Mr. Francis Ngannou. Now obviously seen Andy Lee's comment suggesting things got a little frosty between Francis and Tyson. But what was the crack like between AJ and Tyson?
It was very cold and very frosty. So I don't think they spoke a lot, but you know they need to keep separate, don't they? Because we don't know what's going to happen. I think I know what's going to happen. I think you probably do, and the viewers probably do as well. But we've got to make that yet. But this is one fight we really want.
That's something I was going to ask you about. Obviously, John Fury and AJ cross paths this week. Very cordial, a lot of respect shown between the pair of them.
John likes AJ. Just thinks he's a nice, respectful man, which he is, and so is Tyson. But you know, business is business, isn't it? Simple as that.
What is it exactly that Turki Alalshikh has brought to the sport, which has made it so easy for everyone to start working together?
Look, Turki's he's a man on his own. If you meet him, you fall in love with him very quickly because he's just a lovely fella. His game is a pebble. He's not bothered. You know, he comes up with some weird and wonderful ideas, and he's always open to a suggestion as well. So he will, if he thinks it's good, he'll back you all the way.
I have to ask, obviously, I know everybody's going to be concentrating on Fury Usyk before you look too far into the future, but if a Fury Joshua fight was to happen, I'm sure a lot of British fans would be disappointed if we couldn't see it back in the UK. Is that on the minds at all?
I mean, look, we all had a conversation about it last night. George, Frank Warren, Eddie Earn was all there. We did talk about this, and we think it's something that will happen. Which fight it will be, we're not too sure, but we are going to bring a big fight to England. That's with Turkey's back in. That's with the country's back in as well. So we want to put a massive event, and I think they'll get behind it.
So Turkey would be happy to see a big event, which is obviously a part of, take place away from Saudi?
Not just England, all over the world. This is going to open up massively. What's coming is huge.
Sorry to keep calling you Spencer, so it's an interesting point again. Obviously one thing people talk about is when there's big American names start coming in, either Devin Haney's spoken about it, Tank Davis, Terence Crawford amongst others. Are those in the frame?
Yeah, look, I mean Devin Haney's dad, Bill, is a great guy. He's so down to earth. He's talks a lot of sense. You know, if you've got him as a manager, you're a lucky man, because Bill Haney is a proper man. You know, and he's been over here. They've had discussions. You'll see some clues this weekend because there's a lot of fighters over here, from Manny Pacquiao to Conor Ben to this one to that one to Ryan Garcia's coming, and there's all sorts of people coming. So you'll see a few clues.
Away from all of that, Joshua-Ngannou, the reason we are here in Saudi, fantastic fight. Do you believe yourself that Francis has lost that element of surprise now?
Personally, maybe, yeah, maybe. Yeah, probably. I mean, look. The good thing about Ngannou, he didn't get frightened by Tyson, did he? He didn't fall for any feints. He didn't for any movement at all. He just came straight on. I mean, if you get clipped by him, you're getting clipped. But whether he's good enough to, AJ did look good last time with his boxing. He looked a lot better. The opponent, yeah, still very good. A top 10 opponent. I think AJ on points. That's what I think.
That's going to be my next question. You've just said there AJ on points, but going back to AJ's performance against Otto Wallin, he seemed to really have the faith restored with Ben Davison, who was able to pull that kind of slow but aggressive nature out of him within that fight. Slowly and meticulously broke down Otto Wallin. If he was to do something similar against Francis Ngannou, and if he did say stop Ngannou, which would be a better performance than what Tyson produced, what statement would that then send to the rest of the heavyweight division?
Look, for me, there's 4 or 5 heavyweights in the world who are on their own, and there's 2, maybe 3 that are really on their own. They're up there, and they're in a different class to me personally. But we've got a lot of good ones coming through. But I think that you're going to see the biggest fight in the world with Usyk and Fury. It's simple. Tyson, for me, is the best heavyweight by a mile.
Simply because I haven't had a chance to speak to you since, Spencer, just your reflections on the cut. I mean, how quickly things were able to be moved to get onto the May 18th date.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good team decision. That we rung Turkey straight away, explained the situation to him. I mean, he moved very quickly. This is a guy with a lot of forward thinking. So in an hour, we done it in an hour. We had a bit of a team meeting. When could we work? When could we do it? I mean, you can imagine Tyson is beside himself. He's done all that work and all this bullshit about he's cut his own eye. It's just rubbish. So we went there, went to Turkey's office. We had everything done within an hour of contact with him, you know.
I have to ask Spencer on a personal note then, are there any concerns, say, if Alexander was to try and target that eye, try and make Tyson feel uncomfortable?
No. Look, if it opens up, Tyson will just march on, you know. Tyson's going to march on. He's in great shape at the moment. He's in good form. His sparring was fantastic. You know, you heard a couple of little rumours it was rubbish, absolute rubbish. And I think you'll see a Tyson. He always gets up for a challenge, doesn't he, Tyson? When he's a big challenge, and he says it himself, it's hard getting up for some of these fights, but he will get up for it, and you'll see a different man.
Final one from me, Spencer, and I always say somewhat of an adopted Fury family member now. Joseph-Parker, very close to the family, a big fight with Big Bang Zhang on Friday night. What do you expect to see in that one?
Well, you know, I do a lot of management stuff for Joseph when he's in England, so I made that fight, and I think that I mean, it was me and George Warren together, agreed the fight, got it going. George is on one side, I'm on the other, but I think Joe beat him on points. I really do. I think he's got it.
Gile's a big favourite with the bookies. Is that a surprise to you by just how wide the margin is?
Not really, not after. I mean, boxing's a form game, isn't it? So the form line is Joe Joyce. It's a very easy form line, isn't it? So the form line is Joe got beaten up by Joe Joyce. Zhilei Zhang beat up Joe Joyce. That's an easy form line. That's the way the bookies operate. And I just think Joe's a different fighter now, completely different. And there was a few excuses for Joe that night as well. He had a bad flu and his camp didn't go down well. But we'll soon see, won't we? You know, he looks a big monster, doesn't he, Zhilei Zhang? He's a big lump of a man. But you know, let's see. But I think Joe win on points.
Spencer, listen, I appreciate your time now. I know you're a busy man and little queues formed here, so you won't appreciate that. But thank you.
Cheers, mate.